4 seconds. That's how long it takes a trained con artist to decide whether you're worth the effort, and by the time you've noticed you're being read, you've already been chosen. This isn't a story about a criminal mastermind. It's a story about a retired school teacher in Tampa, Florida, and 3 ordinary psychological tactics that emptied her savings account before she understood what was happening. Linda Ferraro was 63, recently retired, active in her local gardening club, and like most people her age, spending more time online than she used to. That's where she met David, a widower, he said, an engineer working on an offshore oil platform, which conveniently explained why they could never video call. Linda wasn't naive. She was lonely in the specific, quiet way that happens after a spouse passes and the house goes silent. David didn't find her by accident. Men like David and there is almost always a script behind the man are trained, sometimes literally trained, to find exactly that kind of quiet. Their first month of messaging, David never once asked for money. Not a cent. Instead, he asked for small things. Could she send a photo? Could she call him sweetheart like she meant it? Could she promise to talk every night at 9? Small yeses. This is the foot in the door technique, a well-documented finding in social psychology that once someone agrees to a small request, they become dramatically more likely to agree to a larger one later. Because saying yes to the first request quietly reshapes how they see themselves in the relationship. Linda wasn't just falling for David. She was, one small yes at a time, becoming someone who says yes to David. By the time a request involved money, she wasn't deciding whether to trust a stranger. She was deciding whether to break a pattern she'd already built for 6 weeks straight. David's first ask wasn't for cash. It was for advice. He claimed he was helping Linda invest a small amount into a private trading platform he used, and within 3 days, her practice account showed a profit. He even let her withdraw $400, real money, into her real bank account, just to prove it worked. This is reciprocity at its most surgical. He gave her something first, a gift, a win, a favor, and human beings are wired, almost involuntarily, to want to give something back when they've received something. It didn't feel like a transaction. It felt like David looking out for her. The $400 he let her keep cost him almost nothing. What it bought him was trust that would have taken months to build any other way. 6 weeks in, the platform showed Linda a message, an opportunity closing in 48 hours, available only to a small number of verified investors. David called it, with what sounded like real anxiety, the one that could set us up for the wedding. He said he'd already put in $20,000 himself. Manufactured urgency works because it deliberately shuts down the part of the decision-making process that needs time, the slow, skeptical, second-guessing part. Scarcity plus a ticking clock plus emotional stakes is one of the oldest persuasion combinations in existence because it reliably produces the same result: people act first and think second. Linda wired $40,000 in 2 transfers over 2 days. David stopped responding 4 days after the second one cleared. Linda eventually reported it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. The investigator she spoke with told her something that stuck with her more than almost anything else in the whole ordeal. She hadn't been targeted because she was foolish. She'd been targeted because she was exactly the right kind of trusting, generous, and recently lonely, the precise profile these operations are built to find and refine tactics against, sometimes testing scripts on thousands of people before one sticks. That reframe didn't get her money back, but it changed how she understood the 6 months that came before it. foot in the door. Reciprocity, manufactured urgency. Individually, these are just ordinary features of human social life, the same instincts that make friendships and marriages and business partnerships work. That's exactly why they're so effective when weaponized. They don't feel like tactics from the inside, they feel like connection. The single most reliable defense isn't suspicion of every stranger. It's a simple rule: real opportunities can survive a pause. If something requires you to act now before you've had time to think, that urgency isn't a bonus feature, it's the tactic. Linda still gardens. She still talks to people online. Actually, just differently now. If this story hit close to home for you or someone you know, share it with them and subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down the psychological reason cult leaders almost never raise their voice either.